Hello YouTube, Ronin Kazzy. We're back at it, getting more on the schedule here. ur.next.os. We're still on Linux. I use Arch, by the way. That's a meme. Kind of a smug thing. Last time we talked about everything, I was loading up all the Arch kind of family, and I had one slot left, so I got Arch installed. And what I'm going to show you here is that I do have it installed. So I have like 5 distros installed. They all point to one Steam partition where I'm putting my Steam games, and they all can run Steam off it, and I benchmarked all of them, and I do FFmpeg on all of them. So I'm just kind of showing you I made the wallpaper and everything also for the SteamOS. Excuse me. I got SteamOS on the brain. Foreshadowing you too for the Arch. Now, it wasn't easy. If you are going to install Arch standalone, it's the only operating system on your PC, easy. It's true. It's 15 minutes. Doesn't take anything. What's the hard part about it? Partitioning. What's hard about partitioning, Ronin? Well, I got like 6 or 7 partitions, and I have a boot, an EFI section that I have to contend with. So the installer doesn't really handle that great. You have to do some of that through the terminal, through that. So the thing is, there's not a lot, right? There's no one video that shows you how to do all that. I looked at a Windows and dual booting Windows 11 and Arch. This is probably 2023, that video, and I looked at that and they gave me some ideas. Essentially, I had this. I had Solus installed on my first partition after the boot, then Cachy, then Manjaro, Garuda, Serenity. And at the bottom of it, now I have a data partition. I deleted the Solus partition, so I had free memory up there, about 140 gig. So how do I get that? The installation doesn't do that, right? It can't find it, doesn't know what it's doing. You got to mount stuff already. They got to be mounted. It's not easy. That's why people don't do it, because it's not easy. It's not easy with the other ones. They blow things up, but at least you just do it again, right? So, of course, and I have this little blurb up here because I'm going to do a FFmpeg run to convert the video from whatever spectacle or whatever it's called, whatever the screen recorder is. And then I have this prompt in here from the AI. And then I'm going to run it. I'm getting the location and doing all that. So it's not easy. Don't let anyone fool you. Don't let anyone say, oh, it's easy. Oh, I can't believe how easy it is now. If you're coming from Windows, right, I've already told you I wouldn't dual boot. And, okay, why am I installing all these distros? Why am I not just running them in virtual machines? You don't run into this on a virtual machine because you're installing it into a container, right? So I'm not really reviewing something. If I install on a virtual machine, how is that reviewing how it is to install it or do it, right? Because you're going to have some messing up with something else. What if you just want to try something alongside of it? The boot, the installer for Cachy, for Manjaro, I think for all of them use roughly the same bootloader where you can always, the partition part is installed alongside. So that's easy. It's not easy when you have all these other distros. I'm trying to do something different. Now, at this point, I had to take 4 to 5 distros and point them all, automatically load the data. I told you, I have a couple videos where etc. fstab is a pain in the butt, but I did it and knocked it out really easy. Because I've been doing it so many times at this point, that wasn't prohibitive. No mistakes, no hiccups, just ran perfect. So of all these 6 distros, and they can boot up through the Refind, or they're in Grub or whatever. So I get them all to come up. I pick the distro, I run the distro, and there we go. I did a short on Manjaro, how to do some KDE things. This is the FFmpeg thing going on right now. I keep turning on my monitors, which are my light, when I do this. So I'm pretty stoked at this. It took a long time to get everything to work, and if I would have did it better, if I was a better planner, I would have planned out the layout. Maybe you would do Void Linux first, and then maybe you do, I think, between Void and Arch, right? I'd only use one of those. I wouldn't do both because they're both PETAs. But so this is what I did. I installed Cachy first. Then the order doesn't really matter. Cachy had been installed in this before. I reinstalled it. Then Manjaro. And I installed that. That's actually probably, if you're going to run Arch and you're not going to run Arch, Cachy for me will always have a place in my heart because it just worked on everything I have. It works with a handheld. It works with the older machines. But Manjaro might be a little bit faster. Serenity, they say Serenity is the most like Arch. One of the things I try to put on all of these, I want to put Steam on all of them that had, various kind of things. I want to put LibreWolf on all of them that had various kind of things in doing that. Wow, this is old because I think I rearranged these for you. So hopefully you're not going to see that. And Garuda. And Garuda is a special animal in a different way. It's kind of like you can do a lot of stuff. It has a lot of tools, so you can do a lot of things, but I don't know. There's where I switched them back. And then really, I put Arch Linux on everything. And so I'm satisfied with this. I would run this. When I was putting Arch in, I put the kernel that has the Zen, which is a little bit faster and better. I could make it a little bit like Cachy. I like Cachy because the package manager is good. And so now I've thrown on like filler video. I put in the Steam OS announcement just to talk to you now. Right, this gets back to the old channel where I would give you my opinion. But if you want to do Arch, and then they said read the wiki. I mean, this is like the entry to get into Linux shouldn't be this hard. And that's why there's those other distros. Of that group, I like Cachy the best because it gives you the most options for everything. The most, except for Arch, the most desktop environments, the most bootloaders, the most everything. So it's great. The people at Cachy have done great. No problems with it.
Let's take a look at Steam Machine. It's about 6 inches square.
And then I don't know about the other three. Manjaro seems, I had used it before, but I didn't really realize what I was using. And Arch is great. So I had a minimal install in Arch. One of the things on CachyOS, I like the terminal. When the terminal comes up, it has kind of like a fast fetch screen, which I learned what it is now. So my terminal didn't have that, so I had to add some stuff. So the things I'm adding to Arch, I'm not adding anything else. I'm adding exactly what I wanted, right? Exactly what I wanted. So that part's good. It's a minimal install, and I didn't have everything I wanted, and I would just go out and do it, right? If I'm trying to add something. My grub was messed up, and I ended up fixing it, so it's pretty easy, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. I've had to do so much stuff, but it's a whirlwind and a Christmas miracle. But I will say this about Arch. When you get it installed, you do feel... I run Arch, by the way. Right, you do get a little snobbery, right? And I guess you two people, that's okay. We can have a little bit of snobbery. But you're trying to get into Linux. CachyOS still, I would recommend that. That's the way to go. And for sure, if you're going to dual boot, I do something, any of those four distros, Cachy, Garuda, Manjaro, Serenity are okay. And if you're going to do a clean slate, you might as well just do Arch because it's the easiest to install. You can resize a partition later with gparted or some different tools that are in there. So this is Ronin Kazzy. I did it, YouTube Arch.
Or
Bye, YouTube.